I'm a dependent wife, and my husband has a girlfriend outside. My best friend was frustrated by my inaction/dependence. Just divorce him. Men are a dime a dozen. I glanced at the necklace on her neck, one that had been in my husband's online shopping cart recently, and replied lightly, a man as rich and generous as him is hard to find. When I got home, I threw myself into my husband's arms, whimpering, honey, shouldn't we buy a house for our daughter? We bought the house, we bought gold. But his girlfriend showed her hand. I could only sadly step aside, taking all the money with me. Later, my ex-husband came to me asking to remarry. We said it was just a strategic divorce. But, sorry, this dependent wife can't handle hardship. David was seeing someone else, I'd known for a long time. A month ago, he was on the balcony talking on the phone. Sarah, back in school, I thought she was great, bold and spirited, full of life. But after 20 years as a housewife, there's no trace of that anymore. I get it now. I still prefer independent women. A dependent wife is only fit to be treated like a pet. I didn't even go out to confront him, I just lay back down on the bed quietly. Not long after, the edge of the bed dipped, and his chest pressed against my back. I lay there with my eyes wide open all night. My heart felt empty. It turns out when you're in extreme pain, your senses shut down. Years of trust had made David let his guard down around me. He was certain I was long disconnected from society, my brain atrophied. His phone, full of ambiguous messages, was left openly nearby. Or perhaps, he wasn't afraid of me making a fuss at all. What can you do after divorce? Who else would want you? Without me, you are nothing. Lines from a short online drama played from some random passerby's phone on the street. They pierced my heart. I started to seriously consider, what am I? Until today, a month later, my best friend Jessica asked me out for coffee. David is seeing someone else. Do you know? She stared at me intently, her face full of concern. I froze for a moment, looking at her blankly. Jessica thought I was shocked and quickly grabbed my hand. Listen to me, divorce him. Men are a dime a dozen. We're young and pretty, you won't have trouble finding someone better. I frowned slightly, I'm 40 this year. So what? Strong female protagonists are popular now, aren't they? You need to believe in yourself. Her voice was a little too loud, and she seemed unusually agitated. I gave her a strange look, my gaze falling on the necklace around her neck. It was the same one that had been in David's online shopping cart a while ago. I thought he was buying it for me as an anniversary gift, but on the day, I only received a $100,000 transfer from him. Buy whatever you want yourself. Sorry, I'm working late tonight, might not have time to accompany you. That day, I dumped the dinner I had prepared and called my daughter Emily, who was in college. Your dad is seeing someone. What do you think? She was silent for a long time on the phone before she choked out, what does Mom want to do? I'll listen to you. Just as I raised her to be, she listened to me. If you're free tonight, Mom will take you shopping. Mom, are you okay? Your dad just transferred me $100,000. We can buy quite a lot. I bought a set of clothes for my daughter and a bracelet for myself. My boyfriend bought it for me recently. Doesn't it look nice? Noticing my gaze, Jessica touched her necklace, her face flushed with shy pride. I nodded, then lifted my hand to look at my bracelet. It was worth more than the necklace. Are you just going to let David off the hook like that? Jessica leaned closer, asking with reluctance. I snapped back to reality and glanced at her. He hasn't flaunted it in front of me, which means he doesn't want a divorce yet. Men are easy to find. But a man as rich and generous as him is hard to find. She looked at me in disbelief, clearly frustrated by my inaction/dependence. Do you know what you are? A dependent wife. I looked innocent. What's wrong with being a dependent wife? No matter what he does outside, the money comes home. You know, my husband transferred me $100,000 for our anniversary. That's enough for many people's annual salary. If I remember correctly, your last promotion and raise only added $2,000, right? Jessica's expression gradually cracked, unable to hide her emotions any longer. But I earn my own money. Oh, didn't your boyfriend buy your necklace? Her face paled, and she stood up and left in a huff. I watched her back, then picked up my coffee and took a sip. Iced Americano. Too bitter. I actually prefer caramel macchiato. When David came home that evening, he glanced at the food on the table, his brow slightly furrowed. I've eaten. I had a business dinner tonight. I told you not to prepare anything for me. I smiled and walked over, wrapping my arms around his waist. I just worried you'd be hungry when you came back. You always said business dinners weren't satisfying. A flicker of guilt quickly crossed his eyes, and his expression softened. Did you eat? I pouted. Just ate a little. Why don't you sit with me for a bit longer? Unusually, David didn't refuse. At the dinner table, I noticed he kept looking at his phone. I casually mentioned I saw Jessica today. He froze, a flicker of tension in his expression, and quickly put down his phone. What did you talk about? Nothing much. She said you were seeing someone else. David's breath hitched. A brief panic flashed across his face, which he quickly masked. How is that possible? She's just talking nonsense. Those friends of yours, I advise you to keep your distance. A few years ago, didn't you invest with one of them and lose everything? I watched him with amusement until he took a strategic drink of water, then I chuckled. See? I knew you wouldn't. David visibly relaxed. The funny thing is, she even told me to divorce you. She really said that? I nodded, feigning indifference. Something about how I shouldn't be a dependent wife, I should be a strong female protagonist, independent and self-reliant. David's face grew darker. Seeing that I didn't seem to take it to heart, he secretly wiped a bead of sweat. After dinner, he uncharacteristically offered to help me with the dishes. I nestled on the sofa and sent a message to Jessica. I asked him. David said he isn't seeing anyone. He even did the dishes tonight. He totally loves me. I even sent her a photo of David's back as he washed dishes and showed the message to David. A little while later, when I went to take milk to David, I heard an angry voice from the study. Are you crazy? I told you not to cause trouble for Sarah. She's my wife. Yes, I love you, but I can't get a divorce right now. Why make things difficult for everyone? I'm at a critical stage in my career. Can't you be understanding? Wait until I get my promotion, and I'll give you whatever you want, okay? All right, divorce. I'll divorce her and marry you. You can have anything you want. I knocked on the door at this moment, and the voices inside stopped abruptly. David still hadn't hung up when he opened the door. I gave him an I understand look, quietly walked over, and put the milk on the desk. Honey, don't work too hard. I'm going to watch my show now. The tension in his expression immediately eased. Perhaps out of guilt, David was exceptionally passionate that night. When he lay on me, dripping with sweat, I sighed contentedly. He kissed me tenderly and rolled over to lie beside me. Honey, maybe we should get a new house? Huh? This one's fine. Why do you suddenly want to move? It's just, you work so hard every day. We have enough saved now, why not get a bigger place closer to your company? I snuggled into his arms, my little hand tracing circles on his chest. David still seemed hesitant until I mentioned our daughter. M's school is close to your company, too. We could all move there, and I could take care of both of you. She's turning 18 soon. We only have one daughter. It would be perfect to put the house in her name. That way, she'll have some security later. What do you think? David was exhausted and just mumbled a huh sleepily. I took it as a yes and happily replied, then I'll start looking for houses tomorrow. The next morning, I checked the family's bank accounts and called my daughter. She didn't quite agree. Why put it in my name? Why not yours, Mom? I smiled. If it's in my name, it's marital property. If it's in your name, it's a gift to you. Besides, you need to come home tonight. I'm afraid your dad might change his mind. I've thought about it. Maybe we shouldn't move right now. David came home early that night. Sure enough, he walked in and went back on what he'd said the night before. I pursed my lips. Just then, my daughter walked in. Her eyes lit up when she saw David, and she ran over and gave him a big hug. Daddy, Daddy, you're the best dad ever. David was stunned for a moment, then looked at me, flattered. Why is she so clingy today? My daughter shook his arm. Because I just found out today that my daddy loves me the most. David froze, and then he saw my troubled expression. I told her you were thinking about buying her a house. She rushed back after class and got stuck in traffic until now. My daughter was still caught up in her excitement, muttering, I always thought Daddy didn't love me enough before. Mom was always the one taking care of my life. But Mom said Daddy really cares about me, and he even wants to buy me a house so I'll have something to rely on later. Dad, I was wrong. I won't think that about you anymore. SH. He built David up so much that his expression shifted several times. At the right moment, I sighed, your daddy. Of course. What father doesn't love his child? Buy it. Everything your mother and I have is yours anyway. Saying that, David gave me a look, signaling me to stop talking. The three of us had dinner together, and I posted a photo on social media. Jessica quickly liked it. But at the same time, David got a phone call. When he went into the study, my daughter's face also turned cold. Mom, do you know who that woman is? I served her a bowl of soup. Yes, I know. Who is it? I glanced at her. Who it is isn't important. Mom will handle it, don't worry. David came back looking unhappy, his phone still ringing. He quickly pressed ignore. I gave my daughter a look, and she immediately understood and served him food. I heard Dad's getting a promotion. When's the raise coming? My dad is so impressive. I want to be like Dad when I grow up. David's expression softened, radiating pride. Soon, probably next month, the appointment will be announced. Really? My dad is amazing. Amidst his daughter's adoring praise, he directly turned his phone off. Jessica called my phone. I answered it casually. You know everything, don't you? Were you doing this on purpose? I glanced at David, who was still oblivious, and left the dinner table for the bedroom. What do you mean? I don't understand. Sarah, stop pretending. You know about David and me, don't you? Were you posting those social media updates to deliberately provoke me? My grip on the phone tightened. Her audacity was beyond my expectation. Don't be too smug. I'm pregnant, it's David's baby. His family has been trying to continue the family name for 3 generations. I don't believe he won't want the son. Who is it? The door opened, and David stood there looking guilty. I smiled gently and hung up the phone. Jessica. She just told me she's pregnant. His expression went blank for a second, then he quickly asked, Really? Did she say who the father is? Well, who else? Of course it's her boyfriend's. But which boyfriend? I don't know. David's hand tightened instantly on the doorknob, his brows furrowed. Which boyfriend could it be? Does she have more than one? I tilted my head and said, I know of 2. You know, Jessica has always been quite open, pursuing that strong female protagonist thing. She thinks women should just enjoy themselves, so. Anyway, let's go eat. I didn't finish my sentence and pushed David out the door. He sat through the rest of the meal as if on pins and needles. After eating, he said he had to work late at the company and left without even taking his jacket. My daughter looked unhappy, so I quickly pulled her aside. After David left, we settled on the sofa to look at houses. Your dad's girlfriend is pregnant. You know Susan prefers sons, you know that. So, we need to pick out a house quickly. Mom can't delay this for too long. My daughter's eyes turned red. Mom, let's just get a divorce. Don't put up with this. I'll be able to work and support you soon. I sighed. Silly child. It's been 20 years, Mom isn't willing to just give up either. I injured myself giving birth to my daughter and found it very difficult to get pregnant again. At the time, David's mother only came to the hospital for a quick look, taking the chicken soup, as a traditional gift, she'd brought from his parents' hometown with her. He held me and promised, "It's okay, one child is better." My mom just doesn't understand. "Don't worry about her. I'll take care of you and Em from now on." For the next 3 years, he spent the holidays with me in Fairview, no matter how much his parents' hometown called and urged him. He always said, "My wife and daughter are more used to being here." In the 4th year, I didn't want to make things difficult for him, so I suggested going back to his parents' hometown. David's eyes welled up. "You're the best wife." Susan didn't dare to treat me badly anymore, but she still subtly tried to get us to have a grandson. David blocked her attempts every time. Until 2 years ago, one of David's close friends suggested he find someone outside to have a child with. "It's not like you have to divorce her. Just have a child to continue the family name so your parents can rest easy." David blew up and cut ties with the friend. But a year ago, I noticed they started contacting each other again. It was then that I began to re-examine my relationship with David. He was just turning 40, in the prime of his life. He often stared blankly at our daughter, and his short video recommendations were full of cute baby moments. But I wasn't willing to give up. Over the years, I had managed our household perfectly. My daughter was top of her class, well-mannered, had a good attitude, good habits. Under my decades of care, David's stomach problems completely disappeared. His annual health checkup results were always normal. Moreover, he and I were college classmates. I received the same job offers as him after graduation. If I hadn't gotten pregnant and had a child, if his mother hadn't refused to help take care of our daughter, I wouldn't be the dependent wife I am today. I didn't want to be disliked and abandoned by him, nor did I want to swallow my anger and let him do whatever he wanted. Every achievement he has now, I played a part in it. Nobody was going to snatch my peaches. There were only a few good neighborhoods in Fairview. Considering our savings, I found a house priced at $8 million. Isn't that too expensive? Do we have to pay in full? David showed hesitation again. I frowned. Our daughter hasn't graduated yet. We can't make her take on a mortgage. Besides, your salary is high now, and with your promotion coming up, you'll be making millions a year. We won't need to worry. We can save up the money quickly. There's no need to pay so much interest. When I mentioned his promotion and raise, his brows relaxed, clearly indicating things were progressing smoothly. I took the opportunity to say, "You don't have to give me your income anymore. My financial sense isn't as good as yours. Giving it to me just means it sits in savings. Why don't you take it and invest it, make it work harder? As for me, I'll just take care of our little family." David was stunned for a moment, then completely relaxed and pulled me into his arms. "Okay, I'll listen to you." I suppressed my disgust and rubbed against him in his embrace. About 6 months ago, David started subtly bringing up the topic of savings. His monthly salary transfers became less prompt. He even needed me to remind him to transfer it to me. He'd wanted to take back control of the finances for a long time. The day before we were scheduled to sign the contract for the house, Jessica came to me, furious. "What did you say to him?" I blinked my eyes. "Nothing much. I just told him you had more than one boyfriend." Was I wrong? Her face turned pale with anger. "When I was with David, I cut ties with the other one, you know that." I nodded. "But when you were involved with David, you hadn't broken up with the other one, had you? Besides, aren't you someone who yearns for a free and easy life? Who knows if you've been with anyone else since? Didn't you say before that you met a handsome college student, had a few drinks, and just courteously did it?" I didn't accuse you unfairly. Jessica glared at me viciously. "So what? I can get a paternity test on the baby. Since I dared to come to you, I'm sure it's his child." Her face was contorted in a way that was unfamiliar. I remembered the first time I met Jessica. She was sitting next to me on the bullet train, typing furiously on her keyboard. She accidentally knocked over my water cup and apologized why. A look of panic. "I'm so sorry. I have a quote I need to send out right away." "Just a moment, can we discuss compensation later?" I cleaned up the broken pieces and didn't make things difficult for her. "Later, I got off the train earlier." She added me on WeChat, transferred me the money for the cup, and apologized again. Gradually, we started talking more. Jessica worked in education consulting, and our contact became closer when my daughter was applying to schools. In the blink of an eye, we'd known each other for 10 years. I didn't know what had changed her like this, and I wasn't interested. But David's money could only belong to me and my daughter. That day, Jessica and I parted ways unhappily. That evening, David came home looking flustered and uncharacteristically brought me a bouquet of flowers. He held back for a long time until I was almost asleep before he finally spoke. "You know everything?" I nodded calmly. "I thought about it. My daughter and I can't live without you. As long as you come back, I'll pretend nothing happened. Jessica's child, if it's really yours and you want it, I'll accept that too." I choked back tears, unable to distinguish whether my sorrow was feigned or genuinely painful. "You've been wronged." David held me in his arms and finally said, "I'm sorry." I cried and cried, hitting him, cursing him. He just kept holding me. When I woke up in the morning, his eyes were also swollen. "Are we going to get divorced?" I asked him, my voice hoarse from crying all night. "No, we won't. And I won't let Jessica come near you again." I didn't handle this well. David's tone was resolute. He looked at me pleadingly. "Don't let him know." Don't worry. She's about to get her first house today. I won't spoil it for her." David went into the bathroom, his face full of guilt. I rubbed my temples and sent a message to my daughter. "Your dad talked to me. Bring your ID. We have to get the house today." "Okay." She skipped class, and the three of us went hand in hand to complete the paperwork. The moment we signed the papers and made the payment, my daughter and I exchanged glances and both let out a sigh of relief. "Let's go out for dinner, just the three of us," David suggested. My daughter pouted. "I have class this afternoon." "Mom, can you drop me off at school?" "Don't you have to work, Dad?" David's expression stiffened, and he grumbled, "You kid, you got the house and now you don't recognize your dad?" "That's not it at all. I was just thinking Dad should work hard to get his promotion and raise soon, so Mom and I can have a good life." David laughed heartily, his feathers smoothed, and he drove away in his own car. My daughter frowned, looking in the direction he left. "Mom, do you only want one house? Isn't that letting them off too easy?" "Of course not." I created an alt account on social media. I posted a photo of the property deed. "Yay! Got a new house, hubby is the best." Along with photos of the neighborhood, people quickly figured out the location and the price. "Is it a wedding gift house? That place costs several million." "How much was the mortgage?" Not jealous, but with the current market, won't buying a house be a loss? So envious. This is one of the better neighborhoods in Fairview. After dropping my daughter off at school, I replied to messages in the car. "No mortgage. Paid in full. It's nothing, hubby is really capable, all thanks to him. I'm just a full-time housewife. Been married for ages. Our daughter is already in college." The comment section was filled with congratulations and envy. I didn't pay any more attention. The next day, I spent over $10,000 on a facial treatment. Then I went to a 5-star hotel for afternoon tea. I posted a 4-panel photo collage, looking exquisite and leisurely. A woman has to treat herself well. "It's okay, I'm spending my husband's money anyway." Comments quickly flooded in. "Sister, don't you work? Aren't you afraid your husband will cheat?" I replied with a grinning emoji. "No job. Never had a job. My parents supported me for the first 20 years, and now my husband supports me. And my daughter also said she'll support me later." My replies quickly caused an uproar. Many people came to gawk and called me a leech. Classic dependent wife literature come to life. A giant baby. I logged out, put away my phone, and enjoyed my exquisite afternoon tea. But when I got home, I found the door wide open, and several packages were scattered on the floor. Susan, his mother, whom I hadn't seen in a while, came out of the bedroom when she heard the commotion and rolled her eyes. "You're back?" I've packed up most of your things. Hurry up and move out. I was so angry I almost laughed. This is my home. Where do you expect me to move to? She sneered. I don't care where you go. This is my future grandson's house. Hurry up and make room. Then she glanced at my abdomen. How many times have I told you over the years? You just wouldn't listen to me. Now look, my son still wants to continue the family name, doesn't he? You deserve to be abandoned. You're old now. Without my son, I'd like to see how you live. She grumbled and whined. I reminded her, this house is our marital property. It's in my name. So what? He earned the money. Heh. I couldn't be bothered to argue with her. David came back very quickly and had a dark expression the moment he walked in. Mom, what are you doing? Susan's face immediately lit up with a smile. What do you think? Making room for Jessica to move in. How can my David family's golden grandson be left outside? David subconsciously looked at my expression and quickly pulled his mother aside. What are you talking about? Don't get involved in this. I'm not divorcing Sarah. Why not? How much longer are you going to let this woman leech off you? And even have a son. She's been doing nothing for years, you. Enough. David's face turned cold. He whispered something in Susan's ear, and she hesitated for a long time. Then she glared at me hatefully. You'll be out of here eventually. After saying that, she grabbed her suitcase and left for somewhere unknown. It wasn't until I saw Jessica's social media post that I knew Susan had eagerly gone to take care of her. My mother-in-law's chicken soup tastes so good, I'm so happy. Accompanying the photo of chicken soup, with dates, David happened to see it when he came over. His face stiffened, and he explained, Jessica told her. I only found out today. You know my mom's personality. Let her go. Anyway, you two haven't gotten along all these years. Just pretend she doesn't exist. He certainly knew what to say. But every year, I sent plenty of things back to his parents' hometown out of respect for him. Why didn't he say she didn't exist then? But now wasn't the time to show my cards. I shed tears, looking wronged, and David quickly held me. Let me tell you some good news. Headquarters has sent people to inspect. The company announcement will be out in 2 weeks at the latest. I buried my head in his chest, calculating that the property deed would probably be ready in 2 weeks. But I've been in a bad mood lately. You need to compensate me. What do you want? Just say it. Lots of gold. His body stiffened, and he looked at me in surprise. Then he dotingly flicked my nose. Okay, I'll get it for you. I want quite a lot, though. But you earn a high salary, you should be able to afford it, right? Yes, yes, yes. Aren't I earning money for you and them anyway? So, I took my daughter shopping for gold. Not much, we only bought a few pounds. It cost less than $1 million. Looking at the balance in the account, how annoying, only a few $100,000 left. On social media, I uploaded a picture of my haul. Yay! In a bad MO. OD, hubby gave me money to buy gold. The color is so festive. The picture showed various gold jewelry and gold bars, placed on my luxury handbags from years ago. Within a minute of posting, people started commenting. Sister, what does your husband do? Is he a big boss? He must make a lot of money. His salary must be tens of millions. Only capitalists can afford this. They successfully focused the topic on my husband. No, not really. Just an ordinary guy from a small town who got lucky and landed a good job. He built it up gradually. He was quite poor when he was young. At this point, another voice appeared in the comments section. Suddenly rich after being poor for a long time. Be careful, sis, these men are the hardest to resist temptation. Someone immediately replied. But a man's heart is where his money is. His husband gave her all his money, so he must love her, right? I looked at that comment and couldn't help but laugh out loud. I immediately posted a photo of myself wearing a stack of gold bracelets on my social media feed. Caption, they say a man's heart is where his money is, right? Of course, The post was only visible to Jessica. I wondered if her chicken soup still tasted good after seeing it. Why did you spend so much money? Sarah, you weren't like this before. What exactly are you trying to do? David came home that night visibly tired and wasn't giving me a good look. I cried sadly. Are you tired of me? Do you want to divorce me and be with Jessica? You never cared how much I spent before. You even said you'd buy me lots and lots of gold when you had money. David, I don't feel secure. I'm afraid you'll leave me. I have nothing now. Are you planning to divorce me once your position is stable? My string of questions left him speechless. That's not what I meant. I sobbed, but your mom went to make chicken soup for Jessica. I never saw her chicken soup from when I was pregnant through my confinement period. All I did was spend some of your money. That's the only place I can find some comfort. They all say I'm a dependent wife, that you'll abandon me sooner or later. David, after all these years, haven't I been good to you? I cried weakly, specifically learning from TV dramas, making it look like tears were streaming down my face. Even my daughter said it looked convincing. David's face was full of heartache, perhaps remembering all the good things I'd done for him over the years. His eyes actually turned red. I got pregnant right after we graduated. My parents didn't agree to me having a child so young. Plus, David had no savings, and his mother retired early, waiting for him to support her. But I insisted, since I'm pregnant, it's fate. We'll get married sooner or later, might as well do it while we're young. Susan promised profusely at the time, I'll take care of the baby. Let Sarah go out and work. Besides, she'll still be young after giving birth, it won't affect her career later. But when she saw it was a daughter in the hospital, she turned and left. After I refused to have a second child, she stopped answering my calls and gave me the cold shoulder whenever we met. David's career was just starting back then. For money, he worked himself to the bone. In just 2 years, he visibly aged and looked worn out. Things will get better in a few years. We just have to tough it out. You still need to take care of the family. I don't trust outsiders. It's hard on you. He held me, his tears wetting my neck. I took care of our child and his daily life. Occasionally, when he had work he couldn't finish, I would help out. We fought side by side. Although it was tiring, there was hope in our lives, and it felt solid. When our daughter was a bit older, I started thinking about working again. But I had only been at my job for less than half a year when David couldn't handle it anymore. He couldn't find neatly ironed dress shirts. Sometimes, his clothes weren't washed in time, and I couldn't always be home to bring him documents. We went through nanny after nanny. Finally, after losing a big deal, David broke down. He would never blame me, of course. But just the sight of his pained eyes, just seeing him look pitifully red-eyed, I would soften. So, I quit my job again and dedicated myself to taking care of him and our daughter. David's life returned to normal. On our 15th anniversary, he knelt on one knee and handed me the property deed and all his bank cards. Wife, everything I earn is yours, you have a share in all of it. You are the boss of our house. Our daughter was there, laughing and recording the video. 5 years flew by. His salary doubled in those 5 years. The compliments around him increased, and he became more and more confident. Slowly, he forgot what he had said. I knew David's guilt wouldn't last long. So, the new house was being renovated quickly, only the soft furnishings were changed. Everything was done according to my daughter's and my ideas. The lifeless gray was replaced with the blue my daughter liked. The solid wood sofa was replaced with fabric. We decided together to put 2 lounge chairs and a small table on the balcony. We were busy for half a month. Jessica sent me a paternity test result. The child she was carrying was indeed David's. Immediately after, she sent a photo of David and Susan having dinner at her place. They looked quite harmonious. Aren't you packing these remaining things? The movers looked at the books and miscellaneous items left behind, looking confused. I turned off my phone screen and smiled. No need. Now that I'm in middle age, I like decluttering. That's a shame, they look pretty good. Yes, They were all things David liked, but he didn't use them much. I generously gave each of the movers a game console. I already promised these remaining ings to someone else, but you can have these too. Really? Thank you. They were visibly happy. They worked even more efficiently after that. I went to the balcony and dialed David's phone number. Honey, aren't you coming home tonight? The sound of tables and chairs being moved came through the phone. After a moment, he replied, working late at the company, I'll be back later. Actually, you don't need to come back. Jessica already sent me photos. He was silent for a long time, seemingly suppressing anger. I'll call you back in a bit. The call was disconnected. Less than 5 minutes later, I received a call from Jessica. Are you serious? The last box was carried out by the movers, and I closed the door. I didn't take the elevator, instead I walked down the stairs, step by step. I remember when we first bought this place, David and I were overjoyed. He hoisted our daughter onto his shoulders, held my hand, and the three of us walked up the stairs, step by step. Back then, the motion sensor lights in the hallway were very sensitive. They would turn on with just the lightest footsteps. Unlike now, sometimes even the loud click-clack of my high heels takes a while to trigger them. Sarah, I'm talking to you. Jessica's impatient voice came from the phone. Then she sneered. You've enjoyed life for so many years, always being supported by him. You're still just useless now. His guilt towards you will run out someday. When that happens, what will you use to fight me? I sighed. Why would I fight you for a rotten man? What I was fighting for was always the money, the assets, the return on the investment of my years. Then why are you still clinging on? If you're capable, get David to divorce me. I said softly, and hung up the phone. Just then, the movers finished loading everything onto the truck. I got in the car and took one last look at the apartment building. A familiar figure ran past. It was David, arriving late. The sensor light came on again. He got into the elevator. I signaled the driver to go and blocked David's number in WeChat. Then I logged into my social media account. The comments section on my account was lively. Hundreds of comments had appeared without me noticing. Dependent wife, showing off wealth, brainless. All sorts of terms were thrown around. Many people were speculating about David's profession. There aren't many industries in the country that can pay such high salaries. Most people guessed he was a high-level executive at a major company. I decided to add fuel to the fire. Just bought a house and hundreds of thousands worth of jewelry. How do I cheer up my unhappy husband? The photo showed a corner of a dining table with exquisite red wine, and David's bookshelf was vaguely visible in the background. Of course, I lightly blurred it. Unbelievably rich. Sister, did you buy jewelry by the sackful? Want to see? Living lavishly on her husband's money, a parasite. To the person above, her husband is willing. What are you so jealous of? I logged out of the account and turned off the screen. After moving everything into the new house, I locked the door and found a 5-star hotel to stay in for the night. Mom, Dad called me. He said all the stuff at home is gone and asked where you are. My daughter's message popped up, and I smiled. Tell him I'm heartbroken and have flown away to travel. Okay. Soon, I saw a text message from David in my blocked list. It's good to get away and clear your head. Come back soon. I'll have someone clean up the apartment. I can explain what happened today. Jessica wasn't feeling well, and my mom insisted I go see her. I specifically warned her. I couldn't be bothered to read further and exited. Jessica came to find me again. You bought a house? And you used David's money? How shameless are you, coaxing him into buying a house at a time like this? Who doesn't care? Now what you're thinking? Her eyes were red with anger. She had found my alt account online. Of course, I had deliberately left clues for her to find from the beginning. She found it a bit later than I expected, but it didn't hinder the progress of things. What standing do you have to question me? I took a sip of my caramel macchiato. It was sweet and had a good texture. Do you think he's not divorcing you because he just got promoted and isn't stable yet? He'll abandon you eventually. So what if you bought a house? That's marital property anyway. I'll just consider it pocket change. Jessica was very confident. I heard she had quit her job recently to focus on her pregnancy. I was puzzled. You were so determined to be a strong female protagonist, to rely on yourself, and you looked down on housewives. What made you change your mind? She froze for a moment, then sneered. I'll go back to work after the baby is born. You also said that rich and generous men are hard to find. Besides, David is a good catch. I nodded in agreement. From a conventional perspective, he was indeed rich, good-looking, and quite considerate now. But if he cheated once, he can cheat again. I won't give him the chance. I thought Jessica was overly confident, although I didn't think David would marry her. But now I really wanted to divorce David. I had taken everything I needed, all that was left was the process. And the breakthrough was with Jessica. That's why I came to see her today. The house is in our daughter's name. She just turned 18, the paperwork is complete, and the transfer is finalized. As for David's and my assets, there's nothing left. So, even if he marries you, he'll be penniless. Jessica gasped, clutching her abdomen, clearly angered. If I were you, I'd force him to divorce now. Anyway, after his promotion, he'll be making millions a year. In a few years, he'll have a decent nest egg. But you need to understand. You're the one in a hurry now. If we divorce, I'll want him to leave with nothing. What gives you the right? The right of being his legal wife, and the fact that the child in your belly is just a bastard. I stood up, looking at her coldly. It felt good. Finally, I didn't have to hold back. Picking up the rest of my coffee, I poured it onto her face without hesitation. As Jessica shrieked, I leaned down and whispered in her ear, "You're right, I'm a dependent wife. I can't live without a husband. So if David wants to divorce me, he'll have to pay dearly." But, are you sure David wants to divorce me? Leaving her pale-faced, I walked out of the coffee shop. The sun was bright. I went to pick up my daughter from school, and we went out for a big dinner that night. I don't know what Jessica said to David, but he came to find me. He looked haggard, more haggard than I'd ever seen him. She threatened me. That was the first thing he said when we met. I instantly understood. Can we just get divorced first? He licked his lips, his face full of guilt. Once my work is stable, we'll remarry. Don't worry, we have so many years of history, and our daughter. I would never abandon you. He grabbed my hand, looking deeply into my eyes. No. I pulled my hand away, my eyes red. What if you don't want me after we divorce? Your mom doesn't like me either, and we have so little saved now. I don't feel secure. David was stunned, then irritably ran a hand through his hair. Then what do you want to do? You were the one who said her child might not be mine, that's why I got a paternity test. Now she has the evidence. It won't be good for any of us if this gets out. You don't want me to lose my job, do you? How would I support you then? I looked at him in shock, tears streaming down my face. How was I supposed to know you two were together? How was I supposed to know he was your boyfriend? You both betrayed me at the same time, eh? And you're blaming me. I covered my face and cried. David instantly panicked and rushed to my side. Okay, I didn't mean to blame you. Sarah, can you understand me a little? I looked at him, still teary-eyed. Then you promise you'll definitely remarry me after the divorce? I promise. I reluctantly nodded and agreed, then asked for his salary for the month. When are you moving back home? I looked surprised. Since we're getting divorced, of course we have to live separately. Otherwise, how will she believe it? It works out, I won't be back for a while. He thought about it and decided it made sense. So, I took the money and went to City Hall for divorce filing with him. With a month left in the 30-day waiting period for divorce finalization, I went back to his parents' hometown. Why are you back now? Where's David? Isn't he with you? My dad, wearing reading glasses, looked up from his book on the sofa, surprised to see me. I pursed my lips. We're getting divorced. We're still in the waiting period. I came back to tell you. Thud. My dad's book fell to the floor, and my mom rushed out of the room. What? Why are you getting divorced all of a sudden? Did he bully you? My nose stung, and I shrugged, pretending it didn't matter. He fell for someone else. The other woman can have a son for him. My mom was so angry she immediately wanted to call and curse him. I quickly stopped her. Listen to me. I didn't lose out. How can you not lose out? All these years taking care of him, revolving around him, and he does this? How is that not losing out? My mom's tears flowed freely. I quickly hugged her to comfort her. Mom, the money and the house are for Em now. She's on my side too. Besides, he'll get his comeuppance soon. Trust me. And honestly, after all these years, I'm tired too. Being too good to someone can also be exhausting. On the bullet train home, I updated my social media status. He cheated after all. The other woman is pregnant, but I don't want a divorce. To avoid affecting his career, we'll just get a strategic divorce. What can I say? I love him that much. I believe he'll come back to me. The accompanying photo was of a blue sky and white clouds. With the previous build-up, the comment section exploded this time. I thought she was just a dependent wife, turns out she's brainless. Hopeless romantic. I advise you, take advantage of the 30-day waiting period, change your mind quickly, fight for what you deserve. So many people were giving me advice. When I checked again before bed that night, great, my dependent wife persona was on the trending topics. Online, half the people were calling me brainless, a little less than half were urging me to fight for my interests, and some were questioning it. I scrolled through quickly, very pleased with the attention. After that, I deliberately ignored David for a month and took it easy/relaxed concept in his parents' hometown for a month. Until David and I walked out of City Hall for divorce filing again. His gaze was dark and complex. Sarah, we'll come back. Believe me. I didn't know how much of David's feelings were genuine at that moment. Ignoring him, I put on my sunglasses and left. Before the plane took off, I opened social media again. I found many people were waiting for an update in the comments section. Of course, I couldn't disappoint everyone. This time the photo was of David's transfer record and his pay stub. Caption: he still loves me. It's okay if I spend all the money, he has a high salary, and he gives it all to me. I blurred it, but the netizens dug up information anyway. In just one night, David's workplace was revealed. Immediately after, a new wave of attention swept in. Until it hit the trending topics headline. David called me again half a month later. Jessica lost the baby. Let's remarry. I looked at the calm sea before me, knowing there were turbulent currents hidden beneath. Why remarry? Things are good now. Sarah, didn't you love me very much? Don't worry, I will absolutely never make this mistake again. Your promises are worth less than dog poop. I sneered. I heard a sharp intake of breath on the phone. Then came his voice, suppressed with anger. This was all your plan? Sarah, you are so malicious. I laughed. Not as much as Mr. Liu, who still thinks about having multiple wives and enjoying the blessings of a large family in modern society. I still have my abilities, I'll have money again in the future. Are you all so materialistic? David was unwilling to accept it. My eyes welled up. Sorry, David. I'm a dependent wife, I can't handle hardship. I can't start over with you. Besides, you're old now. I hung up the phone. Later, I found out that Jessica's life fell apart after she was doxxed online. She started resenting David, and when she found out he was practically penniless, she went to the hospital and had the baby aborted herself. It caused quite a scene. My daughter sent me a picture from the local news website. Susan, his mother, was kneeling in the hospital hallway, begging Jessica not to get an abortion. It was quite a dramatic scene. David tried to contact Em a few times, wanting her to sell the house so he could have capital for investments. My daughter cried about it in front of her classmates. My dad abandoned my mom for his mistress. This house was left to me by my mom. He's trying to drive me to kill myself. Her righteous classmates never let David see our daughter again after that. Moreover, M had already applied for an exchange program abroad, and I went with her. We saw David again when we received a court summons. By then, I had a boyfriend, who was 10 years younger than me. My daughter also had a boyfriend, who was the same age as her. David wanted our daughter to pay him support payments for her parent. When she asked for my opinion, I didn't even look up. I heard there's a minimum standard. Just pay that, it's not much money anyway. David also sent intermediaries to relay messages, saying he wanted to see me. The dependent wife is busy dating, no time for him. End of story.